Now I want to talk a little bit about the lower half of the body. Knee surgeries, hip surgeries, low back surgeries. Those are very popular right now. And again, the foot turnout is your major cause for that. Our bodies are not meant to walk with our feet turned out. It's just, you can look at any encyclopedia and look at the human body, and the human body never has its feet turned out. We're meant to walk with our feet forward. Another thing that people do is lean either on the inside or the outside of the feet. And you might notice as you look at your shoes, you look at the bottom of the shoe and you say, I'm wearing on the outside of my heel on my shoe. Well, if you're wearing out the plastic on the bottom of your shoes every 3 to 6 months, think about what you're doing to the cartilage in your knees and your hips and your ankles. But you can't go buy new cartilage at the store every 6 months. So sometimes I hear people say, oh, yeah, I walk on the outside of my feet. That's just what I do. Well, you could just as easily correct that to the center, because then you don't want to be one of those people that said, because I do this thing of walking on the outside of my feet, now I have degenerated my knee joints, and now I have to get a surgery because that's what I do. So I encourage people to change those little things. And they're not that difficult to change. It's a matter, again, of engaging the muscles that are weak and exercising them and strengthening them. And then a matter of stretching out the muscles that are too tight and constricted. Our bodies are like a tent. A tent has to be equal on both sides, or it will sway to one side. A lot of us have an imbalance right here. One shoulder sits lower than the other. That's a clear indication that one hip sits lower than the other as well. A lot of us favor one leg over the other. We're stepping and packing, okay? So as you get more into one leg, the lead leg, okay, that side of the body is going to get tighter. And that's one of the main reasons why this physical therapy was developed. It was developed for sports enthusiasts, golfers to be exact. Because what are they doing? They're constantly on the same side, doing the same thing every time. So what happens is the shoulder, the hip, and the knee of that one side gets too tight and constricted. It wears down cartilage. Also causes one side of the back to be too tight as well, which causes scoliosis, causes a curvature of the spine. It'll also cause, some people are also, one hip's a little more forward than the other. And that's going to cause a twist in the low vertebrae, okay? So again, it's all muscles. It's all about correcting what you're doing. So when you're exercising, if you were to come to one of my classes, I would be consistently reminding you of the importance of having both feet flat on the floor equally. Of if you happen to lean in on those ankles, which is called pronating, which is the same thing as going outward. It's just a different part of the knee that's going to get degenerated, or a different part of the hip that's going to get degenerated. If you're leaning in or out, the idea is you just have to pressure into the other side of the foot until you equal it all out. And so we don't normally think of those things, especially if you're a cardio person. If you run, if you spin a lot, like to ride bikes, you usually will have a tendency of one lead leg. And that will eventually cause the body to be out of position here and here. So we're not just talking about here, we're not just talking about the ankles, but we're talking about all of it. What's called the load-bearing joints. Your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders. The joints that bear the load of your body. The other thing that's, another thing that people do is lock their knees. Locking the knees is a very detrimental habit. The girls do it at a young age. As you lock your knees, what you've done now is you're not using any muscles. Now you've got that ball as just pressing down into that socket with all your weight, and it's pushing into the cartilage, okay? It also causes an overarch of the low back, which causes compression of the low spine. So locking the knees, another bad habit. So what I help do is teach you the good habits and the not good habits. And then you get to choose. And every day you get up and choose. What am I going to do today? Am I going to pull my stomach in, stand up a little taller, walk with my feet facing forward, pull those shoulders back and down? That's not an easy task if you haven't got your muscles conditioned. So those of you who come to my class, you know that getting in perfect posture is not happening right now. It takes a little while. It takes a little while for the body to get adjusted to having the muscles be strong. But as you get your body adjusted to where it's strong and long and lean and holding the positions it should, you will be more graceful. You'll move better. You'll find yourself less moaning and groaning when you get up or get out, get up or down, in and out of bed or on the couch or the floor or whatever. you'll find yourself more easily getting up and down off the floor.